Alright, this is lesson 5.4, dividing decimals. This is page 130. We're going to do at least the top half of this page. Number 29 reads, Brenda is planning her birthday party. She wants to have 10 and 92 hundredths liters of punch, 6 and 5/10 gallons of ice cream, 3 and 9/10 pounds of fudge, and 25 guests at the birthday party. This is an important number because all these questions talk about how much each guest gets. Brenda and each guest drink the same amount of punch. How many liters of punch will each person drink? Well, it's first of all important to recognize that there's 26 people at this party because Brenda's going to be there. So it's Brenda and each guest. So that means 25 plus 1 is 26. So recognize that there's 26 people at this party. So you might as well just make a note. 26 people. And question A reads, Brenda and each guest drink the same amount of punch. How many liters of punch will each person drink? So we're going to take the amount of punch, which is 10 and 92 hundredths, and we're going to divide that by 26. And 26 doesn't go into 1 or 0, but it does go into 109. It goes in 4 times. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So I get 9 minus 4 is 5. I get 52. And 26 goes into 52 twice. 2 times 26 is 52. Oops, it's 52. 52 minus 52 is 0. So I get 42, and the decimal goes straight up. I never had to move any decimals here. So it's 0 and 42 hundredths. And it says how many liters? So we're going to say liters. 0 and 42 hundredths liters. Now we're going to do a similar type thing for the rest of the problems here. We've got 26 guests. Question B says, Brenda and each guest will eat the same amount of ice cream. How many gallons of ice cream will each person get? So we're going to go up to the gallon of ice cream. We've got 6.5 gallons of ice cream. And we're going to divide that by 26 guests. 26 doesn't go into 6. It does go into 65, only twice, because 2 times 26 is 52. 5 minus 2 is 3, and 6 minus 5 is 1. Annex the 0 and drop it. 26 goes in 135 times. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 3 is 10, plus 3 is 13. It goes in evenly, so I'm done dividing. Decimal goes straight up. The answer is 0 and 25 hundredths gallons. All right, let's move on. It says, Brenda and each guest will eat the same amount of fudge. Let's go to the fudge there. I think I can show it all. I kind of don't have much space here. I'm going to do this one off to the side here. Brenda and each guest will eat the same amount of fudge. The fudge is 3.9 pounds. How many pounds of fudge will each person eat? So I'm going to go 3.9. Divide by 26. And 26 is going to 39 once. My decimal is going to come straight up. 1 times 26 is 26. Get a 3 here and a 1. And we already did this problem a minute ago. 26 goes into 130. Maybe we didn't do this. Yeah, we did. 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. So the answer is 0.15. And it's, what is it, pounds? How many pounds of fudge? Yep, LBS. Cool. All right, we got the whole top of the page done. Let's move on. To make costumes for a play, Cassidy needs yellow and white fabric that she will cut into strips. The table shows how many yards of fabric she needs and how much she will pay for those yards. So we've got the yards and the cost. And question 30 says, which costs more per yard, the yellow fabric or the white fabric? In order to do that, I'm going to have to do 2 division problems. And in this case, we're going to divide the cost by the yards. So for the yellow, we're going to do 8640 divided by 12.8. And then for the white fabric, we're going to do 4560 divided by 9.5. In both cases, the divisor has a decimal, so I'm going to multiply it by 10 to make it a whole number. And what you do to the divisor, you have to do the dividend. So now I've got 128 into 864. And I don't know, maybe 5 times. That might be a decent guess. I'm going to do 128 times 5 right here. And see if I can get close to 864. I've got 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. 5 times 2 is 5, plus 1 is 6. I might need to try that again. Almost kind of glad I got that right, because I usually guess it right, and I want to show you that it's okay to guess it wrong. So 5 might be too low, so I'm going to try 6. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 4 is 16. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7, 768. That's going to be the right answer. So I'm going to multiply by 6 here. 6 goes here. 6 times 128 is 768. And I'm going to borrow and do 14 minus 8 is 6. This became a 5. I'm going to borrow again. 15 minus 6 is 9. So I get a difference of 96, which is a big remainder, but it is smaller than my divisor, so therefore I did it right. Now I got to make another guess. How many times does 128 go into 960? It's going to go in 7 or 8. I'm not sure. I'll try 8, I guess. 128 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 6 is 22. 8 times 2 is 8. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. That's too high, so it's just 7. 128 times 7. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 5 is 19. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8, so it's 896. That's going to be right. So I'm going to put a 7 here. 7 times $128 is 896. And I'm not going to have to go forever here. I'm just going to have to go a little ways. I've got my answer so far is 6.7, but I got to subtract here. I'm going to do 10 minus, I'm going to borrow and do 10 minus 6 is 4. And I got to borrow again. And this is now 15 minus 9 is 6. And 8 minus 8 is 0. Annex is 0 here. And how many times is 128 going to 640? And I don't think I've guessed that one yet. It might be 5. Something tells me it might be 5, so I'm going to try that. 128 times 5. I've got 40. I've got 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. 640 goes below 640, which means my guess of 5 was right. So anyway, I figured out the yellow. The yellow is 675 per yard. Now I'm going to go figure out the white. And I don't maybe have to do the entire thing, and here's why. If I get an answer that's below $6.75, I'm just going to choose yellow. If I get an answer that's above $6.75, even if I don't complete the whole problem, I'm just going to choose that one. So watch how this works. I'm going to multiply this by 10 to make it a whole number. I'm going to multiply this by 10 to make it a whole number. And dividing by 95 should be a little easier because it practically rounds up to 100. So how many times would 100 go into 450? Just 4. So I'm going to do 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 2 is 38. And I'm going to do 6 minus 0 is 6, and 15 minus 7 is, or 8 is 7. And I've got 4, my decimal moved over and it goes straight up. I've got 4.95 goes into 767 times. I don't need to finish this problem because whatever this is, it doesn't matter if this isn't like this digit right here, if it's a 9 or a 4 or whatever, it doesn't matter because what's more expensive, 675 or 4 something? It's going to be 675. But I guess it asks which color. Which costs more per yard, the yellow fabric or the white fabric? It's the yellow. And if we go analyze those numbers, I could have done this at the beginning, but if we go analyze those numbers, if you notice the cost of the yellow, it's almost double the cost of the white, but the amount of yards is not double. The white's more expensive. You get almost the same number of yards, but the cost of the yellow is almost double. So the cost of the yellow is quite a bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. The answer to this one is yellow. 675 is more than 4 something. Alright, it says Cassidy wants to cut the yellow fabric into strips that are 0 and 3/10 yards wide. How many strips of yellow fabric can Cassidy make? So how much does she have? She has this much, 12.8, and she wants to cut them into this much, 0.3. So I'm going to do 12.8 divided by 0.3. And a reminder, we move this decimal to make it a whole number, so we move this decimal to match what we did to the divisor. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 goes into 8 twice. 2 times 3 is 6. get a remainder, you can go ahead and drop a 0, and you can keep going here. This decimal got moved over, then it goes straight up. 3 goes into 26 times. The question, though, is going to ask for a whole number. It says, how many strips can she make? Well, she can make 42.6, but kind of like a problem on the previous page, you can't round up on this. You can't make 43 strips. She can make 42, and she'll have a little bit left. So the answer is 42 strips. Okay, let's go ahead and try number 32. It's a multi-step problem. All these hot problems are good problems, actually. 32 is a multi-step problem. It says 8 friends purchase various camping supplies for a camping trip and agree to share the total cost equally. That means it's going to be division. But first, you got to figure out how much they're going to spend. They spend $85.43 on food, $32.75 on water, $239.66 on other items. How much does each person owe? Probably the fastest and most efficient way to solve this is to find the total and then divide by the 8 friends. So we're going to get our total by adding $85.43 and $32.75 and $239.66. This would be a nice review to make sure our decimals are lined up, to make sure our adding is all in the same place value. And then we're going to divide by 8. 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 6 is 14. I'm going to do out of order. 4 plus 6 is 10, 17, 18. 1 plus 9 is 10, 15, 17. 1 and 8 is 9, 12, 15. 3. I got $357.84. Divided by 8 people. 8 friends decided to split the cost evenly. There's no decimal in the divisor, so that's going to make this pretty easy. 8 goes into 35 4 times. 4 times 8 is 32. 8 goes into 47 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. 8 goes into 78 9 times. 9 times 8 is 72. 8 goes into 64 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64. I'm done. Decimal comes straight up. How much? That means money. How much money is each person going to spend? $45.98. All right, these next 2 hot problems that we're running out of time for, I'm not going to be able to do them on the video. They're good problems, so you should try them and then check with me. I can make sure you got them right. I can use my key, or I can just go through them with you. Or you could use a calculator to check your answer. All right, good job. You're done with this page.